Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Meha Bharadwaj Alter and this is Game On. Bangladesh may have beaten Sri Lanka with Shakib Al Hasan getting the Man of the Match award. But this game will be remembered for the biggest controversy of this World Cup, with Angelo Mathews becoming the first player in an international match being given timed out. It's been the biggest talking point among cricket fans, with some saying rules come above spirit of cricket, while others are saying this was bad sportsmanship, given there was no unfair advantage being gained by Angelo Mathews. Shakib Al Hasan has been villainized by many who believe he should have withdrawn the appeal after he was told by Angelo Mathews that his helmet's chin strap had been broken. Shakib, who's courted many on and off the field controversies in his career, is being condemned by the fans, former players, and the Sri Lankan team was so upset by what had transpired on the field that after the match they refused to shake hands with the Bangladesh team. And what this means is that this has given us more talking points. What Chetan and Jamie believe, let's find out from them. Both of them join us here. Guys, it's been a day later. Have your thoughts changed on this spirit of cricket, with more details coming out of how Angelo Mathews clarifying that he demands justice because they still had 5 seconds left? Let's begin with Chetan and then I'll come to Jamie.
Well, hello, Meha. Look, I'll go by what the umpires are going to say. I mean, as the game has progressed, there have been many layers of circumstantial evidence, if we can say so, being provided. I think the biggest evidence is what the umpires, the fourth umpire was interviewed by the ICC television, and Ian Bishop conducted that interview. Ironically, he was timed out in that interview. He ran out of time in that interview, which was really, really ironic. But again, coming back to the point, the umpire said that even before the strap issue happened, even before the helmet issue happened, within 2 minutes, he was not ready to receive the ball, which is the underlying important factor in this. And then, yes, I mean, he appealed to, the batsman did appeal to Shakib Al Hasan, who then went on to say that it is life and death for me. This is war and I want to win the game. I am ready to take the positive and the negative of whatever happens. I don't really care. Basically, he just said, I don't really care.
Yeah.
So if you mix the two, then from a rules perspective, the umpires are very clear. The ICC rules state it should be 2 minutes. The MCC says 3 minutes. In an ICC tournament, the ICC tournament playing conditions take precedence over MCC's laws of cricket. In that sense, Angelo Mathews was out. The umpires could not have used their discretion and said, okay, you know what, this is what it is, this is what it is. They could not have done that because they don't have the power to do that. From that perspective, what happened was okay, as per the rules. Should it have happened, like you say, there was no advantage really. From that perspective, it's just Shakib being Shakib.
Okay, this is what Shakib Al Hasan had to say. We'll put both sides of the story. This is what Shakib had to say about that timed out decision. He says, one of our fielders, he came to me and said, if you appeal now, he'll be out if you're serious. Then I appealed and the umpire asked me whether I was serious and whether I was going to take it back or not. And I said, no, if it is in the rule, if it is out, I won't take it back. So this is exactly what happened. He was told by one of the other members of his team that, if you appeal now, he'll be out. And then he went to the umpire, who checked with him whether he was really serious about taking this up. That says something about what the umpire must have felt at that moment as well. But Shakib said there was war over there, which is the next quote, and I decided to take that decision. Let's put that quote up of Shakib as well, and then we'll move forward in the show. He says, it is in the laws. I don't know if it is right or wrong, but I felt like I was at war. I had to take decision to make sure my team wins, and whatever I had to do, I had to do. Right or wrong, there'll be debates, but if it's in the rules, I don't mind taking those chances. And that's where my problem is with this. It is within the laws. I don't know if it's right or wrong. You're meant to know if it's right or wrong. You're meant to understand What are the repercussions of this? What you will be remembered for? What this match will be remembered for? And clearly he knew, Jamie, at that point. There's no way you wouldn't know if you've played cricket. There's no way you wouldn't know that, you know, he's just being slightly petty with it, that there's nothing more to it.
Yeah, look, I've been in touch with someone from the ICC because I said a few things in 2 videos earlier this morning which were not entirely accurate. So I've got verification on what Chetan was also saying. What the MCC says does not legally have to be abided by. It's just a guidance. The ICC does have its own rules, and in November of last year, the rules were indeed changed. Unfortunately, on the ICC website, I did not find the exact place where this is mentioned. All I found on 3 places on the ICC website were the playing conditions. I was not aware, so I'll have to apologize to everyone for the misinformation that I gave yesterday on this show, as well as 2 other shows. The point, like we're coming back to yesterday, Angelo Mathews did not intentionally break any rule, Meha, but yes, wherever you look at it, however you look at it, the 2 minutes had gone by. I still maintain that someone of his stature should have checked the helmet before he took guard. Shakib Al Hasan, once again, yes, he's being painted the villain. He was within his rights to go out and appeal. Should he have retracted it? I would say yes. And like I said yesterday, I'm willing to wager that all other 9 captains would have done that. But it's okay. Shakib did not break any law. What he has not done is helped his case by using terms like, we're at war. No, you're not at war. You're a country which was founded out of war. So using such lines just shows how immature you are. And something that Chetan and I have been saying here as well. He thinks he's beyond the game. And unfortunately, he has put himself in a very, very tough position. Is Shakib going to give a damn about it? No, he's not. That's how he is. We discussed all his indiscretions yesterday. All the times he's been sanctioned, warned, fined, suspended, banned, whatever you want to call it. This is a guy who clearly has no time for rules. So again, but we have to go by the truth. The truth was that he did not break any rules. And as per the rules, and I wish the umpires, not just in cricket, would be a bit harsh. There's an Instagram video going on Maya since yesterday, which has all sorts of these similar or dubious dismissals. And I get it, the ICC and other platforms want to cash in. I've watched that video. Please, I encourage everyone to watch it. Every instance put together in that compilation is because the umpires did not and could not stop them from happening. For me, more than Shakib, more than Angelo Mathews, it is the fact that rules remain so vague, rules remain so undefined, and the men on the field, like all 3 of us discussed yesterday, were not able to sort it out in the right time. Shakib will fade away, Mathews will fade away, his name will remain, like Chetan said, in the quiz books. But the bigger picture for me is, why are umpires not empowered? Why don't they have the spine to sort the issues out? It should not have gone as far as it did, because once again, another example where the umpires just could not finish this problem off.
Okay, now this is what.
I'll tell you.
Yes.
Okay.
No, let's.
I'll just,
okay,
yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Chetan.
Go ahead.
Make your point.
I just want to add a couple of points. What the umpire also said was that within 2 minutes, you should be ready to receive the ball, not be in the process of getting ready to receive the ball. And then he used the word that it's the batsman's responsibility about the strap. It's the batsman's responsibility that when you're coming onto the field, that all your equipment is in place. It has to be within those 2 minutes. And now, I get what Jamie is saying. And again, like you asked us, have you had a thought about it? I did have a think about it. It's very similar to the LBW situation, okay? The umpire is there to give out or not out. If the player is plumb, but there is no appeal, is the umpire going to say that's out? No, he's not. He's only going to do it when there is an appeal for it.
No.
Whether it's for stumping. What do you mean no? No, wait. The umpire can't. No, unless there is not an appeal for catch.
The comparison of it.
Wait.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me finish. I'm talking about the umpire's role in this. If there is no appeal, he is there to enforce the law. If there is no appeal for a catch or a stumping or an LBW, the umpire cannot give it out.
Yeah.
Here also, the umpires will not give it out. The umpires are, if Shakib had not appealed, the umpires would not have given it out because they can't give it out.
Yeah.
They can't enforce it. It's only when Shakib appeals that they could give it out. It's the same situation.
No,
They
it
can
isn't.
only
I'll tell
do
you
it
why it
when
is
an
not
appeal has
I'll
been
tell you
made.
why it is not the same situation. Why this is not a same situation is that if in an LBW a bowler appeals or the opposition appeals, then the umpire goes to check whether that's out or not. In this case, what the umpire needs to do is look at what is the problem there. Has the player not reached on time? No, the player has reached on time. What seems to have happened that when the player walked in, he had his helmet chin strap broken. And that's why he
No,
wants
the
to
umpire
get this
clearly said.
changed.
The umpire clearly said the strap incident happened after the 2 minutes had elapsed. He was not ready to receive the ball. It's very, very clear.
Okay.
You have to go with that Ian Bishop interview. The umpire, the fourth umpire.
No. So one
clearly
second.
said
One
that he
second.
was not
Okay.
ready to receive the ball.
Okay. So if he was ready, and after 2 minutes the chin strap broke, is it his fault? Should he have?
It is his
No.
fault.
No. It isn't.
It is his
No,
fault.
it isn't.
It is.
No, it isn't. You come on.
It is.
It's. No,
is. It
I
is. The umpire
disagree
also
with
said.
both of you. It is not
the
Angelo
umpire also
Mathews'
said.
fault that as soon
It is.
as he's standing there, 1 second, to take strike, his chin strap breaks and that he's out of time. I don't think that's his fault. Nobody could have
But
foreseen this. But 1 second.
no one's chin strap is going to break all of a sudden. It was broken before he got to the
Apparently,
crease.
as soon as he wore the helmet, it broke and he realized it. And by the time it was out, and he clarifies it. Okay, guys, let's first put his side of the story as well. Okay, let's put his side of the story. So this is what Angelo Mathews has to say about the whole incident. Let's put the quote up, and he is very clear on this. He says that he'd reached on time. So he says it was obviously disgraceful from Shakib and Bangladesh. If they want to take wickets like that and stoop down to that level, there is something wrong drastically. It is very disappointing the way that Bangladesh played. If it was monkading or obstructing the field, there was no issue. Within 2 minutes, I was at the crease. And it was when I was at the crease that my helmet broke. The umpire saw this. I still had 5 seconds left. After I showed my helmet, the umpire said that Bangladesh had appealed. So I asked, where's the common sense? Because my 2 minutes hadn't passed. Now I'm going even a step further. I'm going into the next part of it, Jamie, that even if 2 minutes had passed, he's saying the 2 minutes hadn't passed, but even if 2 minutes had passed, I mean, come on. You just come back to whether that's common sense for the umpires to see that there is no unfair advantage. It's not that he hadn't walked in by that time. I mean, you really are then flouting it. You know, you're finding loopholes within the rules and you're using it to your advantage. It's as simple as that. Clearly, you know there is no unfair advantage. There was no time wasting. He didn't walk into the stadium, the ground late. He was very much there. He was ready to face the delivery, only to realize that his chin strap was broken. I do come back to this. Whoever may be wrong, the spirit of cricket does get affected by this. The fact that you're doing all of this, what's going to be next?
Okay, so on October 7th, between Bangladesh and Afghanistan, there was a match when Mujibur Rahman came out to bat, had not faced the ball. He realized he was not wearing his abdomen guard. Go back when you have time and watch the highlights. That took more than 3 minutes. Shakib didn't say a word there, right?
Yeah.
Why is that being convenient? Shakib was not aware of the rules. That proves it. Or he knew the rules and he said, "Arey, ye to Afghanistan hai." Maybe he had a vindictive mind. He wanted to go after Angelo Mathews, right? Where were the umpires? Where were the analysts? Where were the fans? Where were the commentators when that happened? Was it funny because he forgot his guard? Exact same situation. Go back and watch it. It's on Disney Hotstar. It took more than 3 minutes. That time, no one said a word. It just goes back to the point. The law is an ass. No one has a clear understanding. Angelo Mathews did not get ready before 2 minutes. That's a fact. I still say he should have been aware. Umpires have not done anything. My problem with umpires is you should be more authoritative. There's a reason you're wearing pink shirts, white hats, why everyone goes to you. You should have sorted out. Why did Angelo Mathews usher the 12th man in first? Bhaiya, pehle umpires ko jaake baat karo na. That is going to incense any captain. Angelo Mathews is technically more at fault than Shakib, but unfortunately, because Shakib's past behavior and his attitude, what I'm saying, why it underlines. I went back and I watched that. Shakib was chuckling when Mujib ur Rahman forgot he had a chance to time out Mujib. Why didn't he? It just shows that he was waiting for a chance to do it. अगर तुमने उस दिन नहीं किया, तुमने कल क्यों किया था?
My point is very simple. My point is very simple, and that is that he's not at fault, Jamie, because he couldn't have foreseen that his helmet's going to break at that time. That's another thing. And why I think that this law doesn't work, and there's a problem with the law itself, which is what I said yesterday. One second, let me finish this. Which is what I said yesterday, that had he faced one delivery, he could have easily called for a helmet. So what is the advantage we are talking about? Should he have faced that delivery? We keep talking about safety of players, which is what he is referred to. Should he have gone ahead and faced that delivery and said, you know what, let the bowler come and hit me on my head? I mean, come on. You've got to find some kind of common sense into this. Okay, let's put that quote up as well, and then Chetan, you can come in. The quote is, it was an equipment malfunction, a safety issue. So he goes on to say, Angelo Mathews, he's explained it to everybody. That's my only thing. If he had reached the pitch late, I would understand if he was late at his crease, but that's not what had happened. I've got no words to explain it. In my 15 years of playing, I've never seen a team or a player stoop so low. Unfortunately, the strap breaking happened against Bangladesh, and I don't think, and I think both of you will agree with this, I don't think any other team would do that because it was black and white. It was equipment malfunction. It was a safety issue as well. We know that without a helmet, I can't face the bowling. This is what he said. Then he says that, and this is exactly what Kushal Mendes, the captain of the team, has also said. He said it's very disappointing. Let's put that quote up as well. It is very disappointing that when Angelo came into the crease, there were a couple of seconds left. For like 5 seconds left for him to be ready, he found out that his strap of the helmet had come out. It is an equipment failure, so I'm disappointed that the umpires couldn't react on that and add common sense there. Yes, Chetan.
Look, again, we have to go back to the fact, first of all, Angelo Mathews is going to say that. There's no doubt about it. He's not going to say, oh, look, I am at fault. This is what happened. I am at fault. He's not going to say that. He's going to put his side of the story. So here, who are you going to believe? Shakib or Angelo Mathews? I think I am going to go by the umpire's words. When the umpire is saying that even before the helmet incident, he was not ready to receive the ball. Again, it's an underlined bit. To receive the ball, he has to be ready. And then, did he inform the umpires that his helmet is broken, or he straight away ushered in the 12th man to bring in a new helmet? That is also a pivotal moment. Then comes the bigger issue. When you compare it with that Mujibur Rahman incident, again, it has to be by appeal. The umpires themselves could not have ruled out Mujibur Rahman if he forgot the guard. Similarly, the umpires themselves could not have ruled out Angelo Mathews if there was an helmet issue or whatever it was. It was on appeal. It can be only done by appeal, which is where the weird part is. And I'm not saying whether the umpires are right or wrong here. They should have the power to do this. They should have the discretion to handle incidents like this. But this is where cricket is a stupid sport. Like you say, if he had faced one ball, and then he could have changed his helmet, etc., etc.
Yeah.
This is where the stupidity of cricket comes to the fore. But again and again, none of this could have happened without appeal. It is the law. It is the rule, unfortunately. It is what it is.
Okay.
So again, whatever Shakib did was right or wrong, it was wrong.
No, but even this...
But it was within the rules.
Okay, but Angelo Mathews is arguing this as well. He says that he reached within 2 minutes and he's got the timestamp showing it. Let's put that up, sir. If I could get my camera person to just see this. Within 2 minutes, he had 5 seconds left. He's got the timestamp from the time the catch was taken. Right? Of Sadira Samaravikrama. He got out and that's when Angelo Mathews was to come in. Sir, if you could just zoom in and you see that there is, there you see. Now, what does this show, Jamie? He's back, he's wearing the helmet, 48 to 50. Can you come back to it, sir?
If that is the case, look, if that is
look
the
at
case,
that.
then
and that is from Angelo Mathews' social
Yeah.
media handle, from his Twitter handle. Now tell me.
If that is the case, if that is the case, then you can't go back to what Bangladesh did. If that is the case, then the umpire's timing is wrong. Then the umpire is at fault, and the Sri Lankan team management needs to lodge a protest with the ICC against the umpires on duty. If that
Which is what they're going to do,
that is
yeah.
definitely the case.
Another,
Because
so
the
this
umpire
is,
yesterday in the interview said that the 2 minutes were up. So there is clearly a contrasting proof there.
okay,
So
so
I think
Angelo
that's where the
Mathews.
umpires are at fault. Yeah.
Okay, so this is now, this is a Twitter post by the ICC saying, Mathew and Shakib react to much discussed timed out dismissal, which is basically their post-match press conferences. After that, Angelo Mathews from his official Twitter handle has said, fourth umpire is wrong here. Video evidence shows I still had 5 more seconds even after the helmet gave way. Can the fourth umpire rectify this, please? I mean, safety is paramount, as I just couldn't face the bowler without a helmet. And proof is the 2 pictures that I've just shown you from the time the catch was taken and the time the helmet strap came off. And you can see that in the picture. Now, what do you say, Jamie?
Again, this is one man putting out a tweet. We have to go back and see this. The ICC has to see it. Like Chetan said, if the 2 umpires, the men who matter more than anyone else, the man most susceptible to making mistakes, like I've been saying, if those 2 men, if the ICC third umpire, match referee, host broadcaster, Angelo Mathews, Shakib, BCB, SLC, if they're not on the same page, this is a gross error in misjudgment. I'm not going to entirely believe just one post from the man who feels like the world is against him. He might be right, he might not be. I'm not basing my analysis on what I just saw. I'm going to wait until I see he's probably already aware of this. They're probably already doing firefighting somewhere. If Angelo Mathews' tweet has to be taken seriously, there is something clearly wrong. Whatever it is, I don't know. It just underlines my problem with cricket rules, cricket umpiring. This is the bigger issue. Shakib will fade away. Mathews will fade away. But this issue, right? Angelo Mathews said it's the first time in 15 years. It's also the first time in 15 years, Meha, that I've been watching Angelo Mathews, and add on 13 years prior to that, that I've ever seen equipment malfunction, right? Equipment does not malfunction. Am I saying that he was not aware? I don't know about that. But straps do not break all of a sudden. If a strap is broken, you should be aware well before. Straps don't just break. And technically, even had he faced one ball, nothing was going to happen to him if the strap doesn't fit. It just, the bigger picture here is the fallacy and the farce that is cricket rules and cricket governance.
And it's not just Angelo Mathews, right? I'm also seeing Star Sports, the official broadcaster, they're showing a visual. They've started timing it from when the catch was taken and from the time that that Angelo Mathews walked in. He reached the crease 10 seconds before the official 2-minute timer. So one of them's not got it right, whether it's the ICC or whether it's Angelo Mathews. We'll have to check that. But I feel like the larger point being that now this match where Shakib Al Hasan, ironically, was the man of the match. No one's talking about that. His performance, he said that egged him on as well, Chetan. Everybody seems to have, you know, I mean, everybody seems to have overlooked that. They're just talking about this, and this is what decisions like this can do. Because yes, spirit of cricket, whenever this gets spoken about, you know, it becomes big. There's always polarization. You see some saying, yeah, rules are rules. They're above spirit of cricket. The others saying, come on, what will you remember by the end of it? You know, years from now, you'll just think of, oh, Shakib Al Hasan did that to Angelo Mathews. No one's going to remember the result.
Shakib will, Angelo Mathews will. I think those are the 2 people that matter most. Look, I really don't believe in spirit of cricket. I just say the game was not played in good spirit. Shake hands, you know, the teams didn't shake hands afterwards.
Yeah.
It was pretty obvious they would not do that. I'll just say the game was not played in good spirit. That's about it. You know, we've had debates, we've had disagreements on this. Let me just go out and say what Shakib did was wrong. It was absolutely wrong and uncalled for. You don't, it may be war in his head or whatever. Who was trying to gain unfair advantage here? Bangladesh. Because you're sending a legitimate batsman out.
Absolutely.
You're not giving him the chance to bat, not allowing him to score runs. So we might have had disagreements on the rules bit, on the technicalities of it, whether the umpires got it right, wrong, whether Mathews was aware of his chin strap or not. But the bottom line is, what Shakib did was wrong. Was wrong. You know, he could have. This is not a way to get a batsman out. I don't know about spirit of cricket. I do not believe there's something called spirit of cricket. But on the day, you need to play the game in good spirit. It's a very, very different thing from what spirit of cricket is, because spirit of cricket is invoked to, benefit yourself, and nobody does it better than the English. But overall, the game needs to be played in a bit of a friendliness. Like Jamie said, it's not war. You're not out there on the border. You need to be playing as friends, or as in just good spirit. It's not war. You're not out there for blood, really. So in that sense, I think the game was a bit of a disappointment yesterday. It did add to the spectacle of it. Mathews running into bowl to Shakib, and eventually he got him out, and then did that time, time wasting or the time thing. He did that when Shakib was walking out. So it did add to the spectacle of it. There's a serious rivalry there between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. More importantly, there are Champions Trophy spots up for grabs, and the teams that qualify will get ICC revenue, the TV rights revenue.
Yeah.
And the team that doesn't qualify will not get anything out of it. So there's a lot on stake, but this is not the way to go about it. That's for sure.
Okay, now, as Jamie was saying, that the teams didn't shake hands. This is what happened in the game. The debate over, of course, Angelo Mathews timed out dismissal. That's raging on already. This after Bangladesh beat Sri Lanka by 3 wickets in Delhi. Shakib added to Sri Lanka's agony by scoring 82 of 65 balls, and to go with 2 wickets as Bangladesh chased down a target of 280 in just 41.1 overs. On a day when dew played a huge role in the second half of the game at the Kotla Stadium, Shakib and Nazmul Hussain Shanto added 169 for the 3rd wicket to put his team on course for their 2nd win of the World Cup. And despite a wobble down the order, and it did get very interesting. I mean, if only Sri Lanka had got a few more runs, it could have gotten very tricky for Bangladesh. Bangladesh claimed 2 points to move from 9th place to 7th on the standings. What happened after Bangladesh won that game was that Sri Lankan team refused to shake hands with any of the Bangladesh players, and they walked right back to the pavilion without doing so. Now, is that correct? Angelo Mathews was asked about this in the post-match press conference, and he said it's because of the perceived lack of respect from the opposition that we decided that there was no amicable, handshake after the match. Is he right now in doing that? Is Sri Lanka right in doing that? That's another debate. Do you think that that's okay? If you're upset with the opposition, you think they've cheated, quite literally. That's exactly. By the way, Angelo Mathews has used that word, that, they cheated. So, not shaking hands at the end of the game, Jamie?
Doesn't matter in the bigger picture. It just comes down to that there's no rule that says we have to shake hands. Somebody 150 years ago probably thought, let's do it. This is a gentleman's game. It's not a gentleman's game. This game was founded out of corruption. So let's we should give no 2 cents of ours to spirit of cricket. You don't have to shake hands. If you have genuine reasons to feel aggrieved, that's fine. I mean, and Sri Lanka do. So I don't see how shaking hands is going to have a jot. Just watch the next time these 2 teams play a bilateral series. There's going to be a lot of fun and probably a few more controversial issues. I have no issue with them not shaking hands. In the bigger picture, it doesn't mean, it's just a token gesture the teams do. But if you don't feel good, why sort of make a farce of it?
I don't know, but
don't
small gestures go a long way. It would have been nice, a nice scent. You're being
Angelo Mathews was
gracious.
the captain when Sachitra Senanaike ran out Joss Butler at the non-strikers.
I saw that video.
They asked him to appeal it. He said nothing doing. Let's move on. Slightly different circumstances because of the unfair advantage, but yeah, these things don't matter.
Chetan?
If it's a lack of respect, I think then I wouldn't shake hands. Seriously, yeah. And look, it's not club cricket. It's not club cricket we're talking about. If it's club cricket, then we're playing on Sundays. These incidents happen. Then we're back playing next Sunday. This is international cricket we are talking about, and there was a perceived lack of respect for sure. There's no 2 ways about it. If they didn't shake hands, I'm okay with it. Sure.
What if this had happened to an Indian cricketer? Would the rules of cricket still apply, or would you guys think spirit of cricket would top that? Chetan?
Rules always apply. There's nothing called spirit of cricket.
If this had happened to Virat Kohli, if
Absolutely.
he was timed out,
rules are rules, whether it's Virat Kohli or Angelo Mathews.
Jamie?
Absolutely, but I know that Virat Kohli would not have been timed out. He's a professional.
Okay. Let's talk about then the match for today. Away from the controversy in the world's most polluted city, today's action then shifts to Mumbai's iconic Wankhede Stadium, where Australia play Afghanistan. And unlike Bangladesh versus Sri Lanka, there's plenty at stake for both these teams. That's right. Semi-final spots are on the line following victories over England, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Sixth place Afghanistan can boost their chances of making the Final Four if they beat Australia. But the question is, can the Afghans put a stop to a mighty run from Australia that has seen them overturn a bad start to the World Cup with 5 wins in a row? Pat Cummins' team starts this match as firm favourites and should be able to call on their preferred 11 for the first time this tournament, with Mitchell Marsh back from Australia and Glenn Maxwell having recovered from concussion. There are, however, some doubts over Steve Smith's participation due to a bout of vertigo, but the man himself has said that he should be fine today. With Marsh and Maxwell returning, it looks like Cameron Green and Manas Labuschagne would be the men to sit out this one. Afghanistan, meanwhile, have gained from a more settled batting lineup, and after 3 wins on the trot, they would be hoping for a bit of turn from the Wankhede surface given their reliance on spin. An exciting one, guys. So much at stake, especially for Afghanistan. And clearly, from what we've seen at the Wankhede, just bat first. Whoever bats first here has a huge advantage. Jamie?
Yeah, I agree. And look, I mean, if Maxwell and Mitchell Marsh do slot back, I think the good thing is that now we might see something near, Australia's strongest team. I don't know about that whole vertigo thing about Smith. I mean, how serious that is. But if Marsh coming back in time from Australia, if Glenn Maxwell slotting in means that, they're potentially dropping Manas Labuschagne, and if Smith, unfortunately for him, has a bout of vertigo, it's something that Chetan and I have been saying for a long time. Smith and Labuschagne do not settle into what should be a World Cup or a World Cup aspiring winning 11. So if by Smith's vertigo and the fact that Marsh and Maxwell are there, that means you have to drop Labuschagne. This could be, in theory, Australia's strongest 11. So I'm very, very keen to see. I think toss must have happened. I'm keen to see what 11 they play. And of course, yeah, you win the toss, you bat. And if Maxwell and Marsh are playing, it's going to be one-way traffic for Australia.
Okay, at this point, I'm seeing this on CricBuzz. They're saying Steve Smith just had a fitness test a while back and he didn't look in great shape. So could he be rested for today's clash? That's what they're saying. There is a possibility he might not play. Chetan, how are you looking at this for Australia?
I am somebody who suffers from bouts of vertigo myself, so I know how bad it can be and doesn't really shake off in just 24 hours. A severe bout. So I don't expect him to play today, honestly. Yesterday he was not in great shape. He stopped his, I think he just did some fitness exercise or fielding exercises, and then he didn't really bat too much yesterday. From what I'm hearing, it was a severe bout. I don't expect him to play. Even if he is fit and available, I don't see how he gets ahead of Manas Labuschagne on current form. Because Labuschagne has not only scored runs, he scored them in a much more free-flowing manner. I thought his innings in the last match deserved the Player of the Match award. But then Adam Zampa was Adam Zampa. So from that perspective, I think Smith, as it is not going to play today. And if what you're saying is right, then I don't see him playing today. But I agree with Jamie. This is going to be a full-strength Australian side, an Australian side that we've been waiting to watch, really. I think Afghanistan's winning run comes to an end today. And
but you know what? Afghanistan have an advantage because they have won the toss and they've opted to bat. How big an advantage will this be? I feel like now it's kind of gotten slightly even, Jamie, with Afghanistan, especially the kind of form that we've seen their batting in. Yes, they've chased in the previous couple of matches which they won. But here, setting a good target, a big target, that's probably a better way to go at the Wankhede. Afghanistan, for all of you who are joining us, Afghanistan have won the toss at the Wankhede Stadium. They have opted to bat first against Australia, Hashmatullah Shahidi at the toss said that wicket looks good and that they are hopeful it'll seam and spin in the second innings. They've done well chasing, but he said that you want to look at the opposition and the ground. This is what he's said. And also, which is what I was expecting, that there is one change. Okay, so there is one change, and which is Fazal Haq is not playing. And I'll just find out exactly what the change is. Yeah, okay. So Fazal Haq Farooqi, he's out, and Naveen ul Haq has come back into the side. So Afghanistan winning the toss and batting first. Jamie?
Again, good advantage because I think traditionally we've discussed Afghanistan teams have done better when putting up good targets and then applying the squeeze. I think they just swapped a pacer for a pacer, which means they're still playing Noor Ahmed, which gives them 4 spinners. I think they're 4 spinners, right?
Yeah, they played Noor Ahmed, yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So they've kept Noor Ahmed from the last match. They've just swapped Fazal Haq Farooqi for Naveen ul Haq, who did not play the last match. It's to their advantage to bat first. Are they going to get a big total? I don't feel that because Zampa's finally turned up consistently. Stark is there, Cummins is there, Hazelwood is there. They probably have, yes, we have Marcus Stoinis as well, and we have Glenn Maxwell. So it's a very, very good team that they're up. If they've been getting to 280, 275 against lesser bowling attacks, I would wager they might be able to get to 250, 240 against Australia. Is that going to be enough for a full-strength Australian side? No. But again, stranger things have happened, and I think Afghanistan defending is probably what they would do best because we've seen, like against England, of course they're number 10 right now, but they do have a better chance, to my mind, despite some very good chases in this tournament. I would back an Afghanistan team that bucks the trend, bucks predictions, gets to 275, and then with those 4 spinners, you might just have an upset. But man to man, Australia should win this.
Yeah. So at the pitch report, Sanjay Bangar thinks that Afghanistan have an advantage. He says, I can clearly see there isn't enough grass cover on this pitch because it is unlike a Wankhede pitch. Advantage Afghanistan because of the kind of track that is there. It might grip and turn a little bit, whether it's bowling first or second. It's always best with humidity around to bat first and put runs on the board. So they've got the better of the conditions, it seems, Afghanistan. They have that bit of advantage. Pat Cummins at the toss had also said that they would have liked to bat first, but it's fine. And there are 2 changes to this side. Steve Smith, he struggled in the warm-ups. We were just telling you that. He has his bout of vertigo that he's recovering from, so he's going to miss out today's game. Cameron Green also misses out, and Glenn Maxwell and Mitchell Marsh. He's returned from his personal leave. He'd gone back to Australia. He's back in that side. So it is their full strength 11, except for Steve Smith. One person is out, but yes. This is Australia's playing 11. We'll also put Afghanistan's playing 11, and there's just one change there with Naveen ul Haq coming in place of Fazal Haq Farooqi. That's the only change. What will their spinners do? It'll depend a lot on how they bowl to the Australians and how well Australian batters adapt to this bowling. So that's the news from the Wankhede Stadium. Chetan, now looking at these 2 teams, of course, Australia much better side, but Afghanistan have been buoyed by what they've done, and we've seen some incredible stories come out of sport in general. When you've got that momentum, you've got a fairy tale run. With this Afghanistan team, though, it's not just that momentum and that fairy tale run. They actually have a team that can cause an upset, that can beat the best in this tournament. So they'd like to believe that even if it's Australia, we can beat them today.
Definitely, they'll like to believe that, and I think it is a fairy tale story, really. 4 wins. Before this, they had 2 wins. The last World Cup, they didn't even win a game. Obviously, they didn't really have a team for the English conditions. They've grown as a squad in the last 4 years, adding a few batsmen here and there, definitely adding a couple more spinners, brilliant spinners. So from that perspective, they are a good team. We've discussed often how they are maybe 3 players away from a world-beating side. But have they beaten any world-class sides in this tournament? I'm not sure. I don't count England as a world-class side in this tournament. It was a shocking upset. But what I'm trying to say is that Australia
I
at
think
this
England
moment,
never quite recovered from that upset.
no,
That
not
really
really.
was the start of their downfall.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, if you look at the trajectories that the English side and the Australian side were, Australia was on an upward trajectory after the Sri Lanka, not even after the Sri Lanka game, after that rain break in the Sri Lanka game. What I'm trying to say is that this Australian side, after those 5 back-to-back wins, playing their best side, in form, switched on, I think that's going to be a very, very different beast to handle or to face than any of the sides that they have beaten, Afghanistan have beaten in this tournament. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that Afghanistan can't beat Australia.
Yeah.
If they put on 300 and take a couple early wickets and their spinners come on, and like Sanjay Bangar is saying, that they might be turn on this pitch, who knows what might happen. But from what I've seen in Wankhede, underlies, it's actually the Pacers who've been doing the job. You know, I was there, the England-South Africa game.
Right.
Yes, they got 400, but it was the South African Pacers who completely stunned the English batting. Again, you look at India and Sri Lanka, look at the Indian Pacers. So I haven't really seen that much spin action at the Wankhede underlie. So I'm not sure if that's going to help Afghanistan if the dew is setting in or the conditions, the humidity conditions with the 4 spinners there. So they really need a good total on board. If they get shot out for 240, 250, which I think they will against this Australian lineup, so that might not really help them. So it's all going to depend on how much Afghanistan score. If they can score 300, then maybe a chance. Otherwise, anything less than that, and I think Australia will chase it down.
Well, there's a certain Indian legend who's made his loyalty very clear. Indian cricket legend Sachin Tendulkar. He met the Afghanistan team ahead of their World Cup clash against Australia at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. The Afghanistan team are, of course, as we've been saying, riding high on confidence and on the eve of the clash, which could potentially define their chances of qualifying for the semi-finals. They had this moment where they met Sachin Tendulkar. This is a dream run for them for an elusive semi-final spot. Sachin arrived during their practice session, as you can see, smiles all around. This is to raise the level of motivation that runs through this team. Rashid Khan, he described the moment. He said it was a special moment for everyone. This is what he told ICC's official website. Meeting him on a very special occasion here in Wankhede, he said, I think it's a different feeling, and definitely it's given lots of positive energy to the guys, to the team. It's a kind of dream for lots of players to meet him. This is what Rashid Khan had said after seeing him. Says the Afghanistan team, of course, now have seen a massive support turn up for their games throughout the tournament, irrespective of the stadium that they've played in, and you can expect the Wankhede crowd to be cheering for this side. As their mentor, there's a mentor, Ajay Jadeja. He was there along with this team. He's been with this team, and many believe that it's his knowledge of the conditions, of the teams, of this format, that has helped this team do well in this tournament. Jonathan Trott would have been happy as well, meeting Sachin Tendulkar, but it comes down to some of these players to not just have this fairy tale run, but to have a legend like Sachin Tendulkar come and support them, come and tell them that they can, they can only go places from here. So a huge moment for them and a wonderful moment for them. These are moments that we love, Jamie, on the show. And again, this is what one needs to do as well. For teams that are, not quite there with all the others, with all the other top teams, to go, to support them, to tell them that, they've done an incredible job. Just pat them on the backs and say, that's a job well done. And I hope you, you just go higher and higher from here. So, yeah, beautiful visuals, those.
Absolutely. I mean, anyone, any team, any unit, any office staff that Sachin Tendulkar speaks to is going to walk away just feeling like they're flying, like Red Bull gives you wings, type that ad feeling, So it's outstanding that and look at these visuals. He's smiling. They're obviously every single player knows his stature. Most of them probably grew up at some point being drawn to this amazing sport because of watching Sachin Tendulkar, most likely wearing blue and doing some amazing things with the bat in his hand. So it's awesome that they got this chance, and even the fact that Ajay Jadeja, he's also been around. No doubt, he's played a lot of international cricket. He's a man who's known for his street smartness, for his cricket acumen. So
Yeah.
again, him and Jonathan Trott, more so Trott being with this team, no doubt it's had an effect on their results.
Okay, quickly then, predictions before I wrap this up. Actually, we were already going over. So, what will Afghanistan score?
Not more than 250.
Jamie?
Tough to see them go beyond 250. Yeah.
Okay, we'll find out at 6 o'clock. That's it from us. Thank you guys, Chetan and Jamie, for joining us. News 9 Live is what you guys need to subscribe to. For now, goodbye. Thanks for watching.
Delhi has the fastest growing metro network among G20 nations.